What's up? What's up? Let's talk about some history. I've been getting into it a lot recently from when I said America been in war for the last 217 out of 239 years to what else? What else have we talked about history? To how we don't know who our real people are. All we know about is right now Nat Turner, and people don't believe Django is real, but they starting to give us those characters because it's hard to believe that we were just people running away. So they'll feed a couple people was fighting, but they don't they're trying to let this shit out as slowly as possible. And even with the Nat Turner rebellion in the movie, that shit wasn't as strong as it could have been. Django went hard, but it's not looked at as real. So yeah. But even if, to think about it, they didn't give us Harriet Tubman, we wouldn't even believe in slavery, bro. Like, what? We didn't even run, bro? Now, okay, now you niggas is bullshitting. But the fact that they gave us that, it made us think maybe we could run away, and that's why people don't mind going back to Africa. People don't mind running away from their problems because that's what we were taught to do anyways. But when you hear this shit and you hear about our ancestors like Django, which is his main character I talk about all the time. I haven't never said his name 'cause I couldn't remember, but it was Bass Reeves. He was in 1838. He was a slave that broke away and to live with natives. He ended up becoming a deputy and shit like that. It wasn't the Django story that they foretold, like a white dude helped him out and all that shit. No, it wasn't that. But pretty much, he ended up arresting over 3,000 outlaws and killing like 14 people. But he was a big sheriff, a big time dude in his era. Like, he went hard. And he traveled from Oklahoma to Texas to, I think, even New Mexico and other places. But I might get into it more on the podcast. But like I said, Nat Turner happened in 1831. He had Bass Reeves, which would be Django, happened in 1838. And Harriet Tubman didn't start really doing her work till 1849. And it just go to show, even before her, she was really just helping people get away into these rebellions. And they leave that out. Like, we just was running away to freedom in Canada, but we didn't go to Canada. It was a lot easier to go to Florida and fight back, honestly. But some of the things that just happened to just go to show you how many battles and shit we ain't had even before Harriet Tubman was, like I said, the Stonewall Rebellion happened in 1740. We had pretty much a 72-year Cold War with them after that because, I mean, we were so strong and they really didn't have shit to, fight with us. And like I said, the Creek War ended in 1812, 1814. And I ain't finished that, but the way it ended was British decided to help, and the sellout natives, we're going to call them the sellout natives because they took the British help instead of just, finishing their own battle, finishing their own war. They took their help and they integrated with Britain and British people over time, and we're going to call them the Creole. Well, not even we're going to call them, that's what they was called. They ended up being called the Creoles. And the people that lost moved to Florida, and we called them the Seminoles today. And you still get the Seminoles in Florida and shit like that. You get the Creoles being these light-skinned people. And Seminoles are mostly dark-skinned, hella almost red-skinned people. And just like the extra other football title name. But yeah. We are those people. Let's see. After that was the Creole War ended in 1814. Spain lost this country in 1824. Lost Florida in 1824. So we just go to show kind of where shit was. And reason I say this, Andrew Jackson made the Indian Removal Act, and it killed 3 out of 4 Indians, and that was in 1829. So if they lost that shit in 1824, it'll make sense to why the Gully War was fully ended, because Spain didn't even have their power over there anymore to keep people, at least in the sense of borders free. They still was powerful, and that's where you get the because that was 1829 with the Indian Removal Act, where 3 out of 4 people died. Then that Turner came 1831. 1835 was the Dade massacre in St. Augustine, Florida, where the Gully people killed 189 to 199 people out of 200. They only let the 1 or 2 people live to go tell the people pretty much what happened. 2 years after that, the colonies decided to have a big attack back because of that shit. And they said 1,000 people died. Out of that 1,000 people, guess how many survived? 26 made it unscathed. So I ain't gonna say survived, but 26 made it unscathed out of 1,000. It just go to show how powerful we was. And at that time, we was moving in guerrilla warfare. And a part of that guerrilla warfare was great for us, but it moves you around and separates you a lot because it's always about not being in one spot. And in 1818, the Battle of Swans, SUE. This is how I spelled it, SWANZE. This was in 1818. Andrew Jackson lost the battle, but on the way back, they ran into the women and children that was hiding somewhere else on accident, and they ended up killing all of them. And pretty much, they lied and said they won the battle because of that shit. And that was in 1818. So after that, bro, we never looked back. We went hard on them. And that's where you get the Day Massacre in St. Augustine. We killed 208 people. And then with 1,000 people, we had no mercy for them, bro. Because, like, literally, we had our women and children separate, and y'all didn't give a fuck about them. And this was all happening in the Florida area, so it wasn't like their history was being, divided, and they didn't know what was happening. But after the 1,000 people died, the American colonies decided, Andrew Jackson decided, and the American colonies decided to exile them. And the people they chose to exile them and to use to exile them and to escort them to Oklahoma was the Creoles. And this was in 1842. Bass Reeves was working with natives in 1838, which was Django. They moved the Gully people moved to Oklahoma in 1842. So that's damn near a 4-year difference. So you think he wasn't influenced by these people? Like, over time, like, let's be real. I think he was born in 1838. He didn't start going off in 1838. So you gotta think how influenced he was by these people, and he broke away. And it almost makes sense with the Gully people. And the Gully people even ended up beating the Creole people in Oklahoma, and they took over Oklahoma. And after that, they even left and went to New Mexico. They went to Cuba. They went back to Cuba because pretty much in Florida, they was all settled down. That's where you get the Haitians and shit from. And they even went back to North Carolina to start a refugee camp for Florida people, or refugee settlement for people that were trying to run away from the colonies. My bad. And then 1855, this was 10 years before the Civil War, was the Battle of Texas Rangers, where they tried to destroy the New Mexico settlement, and they lost that one. Eventually, they end up, really, if you think about all this shit, I haven't named as many of the things that definitely happened, but I have at least 10 to 15 different revolutions and major revolutions, and that really what happened. I mean, that's really what caused the breakup of America, the whole Confederate Union. The Union wanted to be more liberal, use more liberal tactics, because they was like, we can't beat them, so join them. And they tried to exile us and do all these things, but it didn't work, and it wasn't going to work. We was going to keep finding our way. Like, we made our way back to North Carolina, and we made our way back to Cuba. We made our way back wherever we wanted to go to help our people. And they knew they couldn't stop us, so they had to try something else. And they wanted to try the liberal approach. The Union wanted to try the Confederates wanted to try the Willie Lynch approach, and they wanted to destroy our wills. And it's funny that Willie Lynch is called that. But pretty much it just go to show the only reason they separated was because of their mentality on how they wanted to defeat us. Did they want to join, or did they want to destroy? And that's why you get a lot of the Confederate people now almost being liberals in a sense, because they know they can't beat us now. They realize in their history too. But the Union Emancipation Proclamation was really just a cover-up, because we was already freeing ourselves, and they wanted to make it seem like they gave us our freedom. They wanted to make it seem like they gave us the pat on our back, but it wasn't them. We was already freeing ourselves, and we were going to destroy them. We were going to destroy them if America didn't change his viewpoints on us and how they approached us. If they approached us by just war, and you can say that today, Louis Farrakhan said they don't want tanks in the street because that'd be the day you wake up. If it just go back to war, bro, like, we'll be up and, like, alert, nigga. You already know how cold we are in sports, nigga. If we go to a war-minded shit, good luck, guys. Because we're fucking savages, and I can't even lie to you. Like, y'all think that I don't even like calling white people evil and savages, because, like, literally, we are that. Like, we try to preach love. We try to teach all that shit, because that's what we're everything. No bullshit. We're everything. We're destruction. We're love. We're creation. Bro. Y'all don't know the midst of us. Y'all just got this trickery and shit, but, bro, we learn this history, bro. We gonna get big mad. And spiritually, we're gonna destroy y'all. I don't even think we gotta do it physically no more, honestly. But, yeah, man. This is just I'm gonna go definitely deeper. I'm gonna find some more stuff and align some more things up. But, yeah, bro, from from 1739 to 1855, which the Civil War started in 1865, and we fought in that too. Man, bro, we've been fighting. We haven't been subjugated all the way to 1900. That's 40 years to the 1900s. Then we had our Black Wall Street, we had our black banks, and then they bombed that. So it's like, bro, it really took a long time for them to get this far and conquer us this much. If we really think about it. And it wasn't what they told us. It wasn't some boats and some easy ass job for them. Like, when did they get here? 1619? That's when they said. Well, no, that's when the first slaves got here. But I think they got here in 1600s too. They had 100 years to become civilized, and they only came up with the 13 colonies. We've been here for 400. I ain't even gonna say 400 years. We was in America way longer than them, all around America. And the only reason we wasn't even together was because we were infighting. Like I said, it was the Creek Indian War for 400 years. We were infighting. We had America down packed. We were already in our own shit. Like, y'all came here in 100 years and only could stay on the colony. Because y'all didn't know how to cultivate the land. Y'all didn't know how to get over mountains. Y'all needed it. Who? Pocahontas. Now we know who that is, a black woman. Like, let's be real. Let's talk about who these native people was. Y'all used us. Y'all didn't know how to grow shit. Y'all didn't know how to do none of this shit because of native people. We was everywhere. So to think that in 100 years y'all only could make up a coastline and we were everywhere in America, to say that y'all was enslaving us is crazy. To say that y'all was enslaving people from somewhere else is crazy. Like, y'all couldn't even control y'all own shit. Y'all was still battling y'all own wars. And honestly, if you look at the Revenant, bro, it wasn't even close battles until y'all start wiping us out with plagues and we start getting sick and shit like that. Like, y'all had to do way more shit besides actual wars, bro, because it wasn't like, bro, we knew the rivers, we knew everything. So no matter where you move, we could hunt you, we could track you. We were so cold with the land, like we were those people. If you watch The Revenant, if you watch a lot of the movies where natives, and they called them Hebos and all these different things when they're really Hebrews, and they go from, I thought that shit was in Africa, but like I said, even if we were from there, it was thousands of years ago, and that's what they seen over there. They gonna call them same Hebrews over there when they was the same Moors and people over there. It's the same looking people when they got over here, so they call them the same thing. Even if we didn't move or not, bro. It's the same people over there. We're everywhere. We're fucking everywhere. So if they seen black people and they call them Hebrews in Britain, when they got over here, they gonna call them Hebrews and niggas over here. And that's where these words come from. Because like I said, niggas and shit was over there. Like the Indian people, the Naga serpents and shit, like that shit over there in that area. But we talk about them being in the Indian area, I believe. But like I said, bro, they gonna get these names and transfer them to the same people of color. Like, man, y'all go back and watch these movies, bro. And y'all look at these natives and shit as us. These people that fought back, these people that were so cold. And to say one other snippet, the Creek Indians were cold with arrows and shit. And they were the Creole people and shit like that. The Seminoles was cold with arrows, but when they went to Florida, they got to learn military shit from Spain, which was guns and shit like that. So they was advanced with more than just the knowledge of land, knowledge of bows, knowledge of shit that can be cultivated from the land easily, to having also guns. So, bro, they was really some beasts, bro, and you really think about their military experience. And then they did have some Africans from slaves, and I ain't saying it wasn't all I ain't saying it wasn't no African slaves. There were a few. So they knew African, they knew they knew Spain, and then they knew native tongue from whatever they knew here. And it just go to show, bro, how connected they would have been with different people, like, the white man knew his tongue, he didn't know this land, and, bro, I'm just saying how irrational it was, and I've been feeling this in my soul, but I never could explain it. I've been talking about it, bro, and it's finally here where I can explain it and really get down. I'm sure I can go past 1739. That's what I might do in the podcast. I might not talk about it, but I might just give to where I can find the first rebellion. And there's even rebellions that's been in Houston and Texas that they don't even talk about. And that happened in the early 1900s, like, to get us all in the hoods. Like, it's really get deeper than the 17 and 1800s. There was rebellions in the 1900s that we didn't even know about. They got us to just be in these certain places. Like,